Today, on my 370th consultation call, I got a very interesting person, and his two asks were very, very genuine. The first ask was that, ma'am, which grammar book precisely I should use as a beginner to be ready for the TEF, because he was a self-learner. And the second ask was that if I could make him the plan or can help him with the topics which are important for TEF and which would help him to literally squeeze his journey from 1 year to maybe in few months. So I thought, let's just go ahead and make a video on this topic, because this must be bugging you, most of you anyway. So let me share this information with all of you today in this short quick video by taking onto the screen. Please subscribe to my channel, comment below if you would like to book my consultation call. This is Ankita Agrawal. I reside in Ontario, Toronto precisely, and I do help lots and lots of students to clear TEF, get the PR, and I do have an opening slots right now for one-on-one classes as well as small group classes, which would comprise of 3 to 4 people maximum. So let's get on to the video and let's understand and uncover all the magic behind the grammar books today itself. So now let's start with the first thing first, that we definitely have a plenty of grammar books in the market today, especially related to TEF, French, and many other, the study material which is available for the French. So if I go ahead and first understand that how exactly which one to choose for and where to select, how to go about this, then I would say, first of all, guys, the books are honestly similar. More or less, they would have the similar content. This book would readily express the verbs or maybe, the nouns in one way. The other book will be doing the similar or the same way, because actually the grammar doesn't change, right? Maybe the book formatting, the formula, the way of explanation, or maybe an exercise or their solutions at the end, they kind of are different style, but technically the grammar won't change, right? So I would say, first piece of advice would be, do not literally indulge yourself into the multiple grammar book. So multiple grammar book is something literally hazardous for you, because you do not have time. You're not here to actually literally solidify everything, because this is a TEF or TCF exam that you're targeting. So you literally do not have to do anything and everything. So first of all, choose one book, I would say, which is comprehensible. It is easily available, readily available, maybe a PDF format or maybe the handbook format. I go by the handbook sometimes, so maybe by that, and that is honestly enough. And you can finish that book in about, let's say, 5 to 6 months. So because the TEF is about the vocabulary, not exactly the grammar. Grammar is the backbone of the language, but this is not about the test of grammar that is going to come in the exam. So that is why I kind of do not literally over focus on grammar. And secondly, I always prefer mixing it with the reading, listening, or speaking, because at the end of the day, you got to speak there. At the end of the day, you have to read, listen, and everything. So if you do that, that will definitely be super, super helpful. Now, what are the steps that I would like to advise you today are, so first of all, you have to kind of read through the topic. So for example, if you do verbs, then you kind of just have to read what exactly the verbs are and how many types of verbs are there. Maybe ER verbs, IR verbs, ER or RE verbs. So what sort of verbs and conjugations that I'm supposed to learn and by heart. Then you can also listen to the additional YouTube explanatory videos, and you can also go through some more material on Google, which are absolutely free. Because I know there are times when we use audible books, there are times when we read through something, but it is not so clear. So you do not have to literally overcomplicate it. Just go to any YouTube video, watch that particular topic explanatory video, and that's more than enough. You can also do the exercise in the grammar book which is given. So usually what I do, I just prefer only one grammar book, and I always recommend only one grammar book to my students if they ask. Otherwise we use cahier of the editor sometimes, and if required we sometimes use the cahier of saison. But our preferred book is actually the grammar one, the one which is in dialogue. I'll put it on the screen. This is my preferred book because it gives me the understanding of implementation of that grammatical concept as well. Then you could also start making your own sentences. For example, today you learned little bit of pronoun. So let's say if you're reading about the pronoun, why don't you just start making little small sentences, like instead of saying I like Emily, you can say, oh yes, I like her, je l'aime. So if you start making certain small sentences like this, you would definitely be at par, and you will certainly solidify your learning, because that is a conceptual way of learning. Last but not the least, you must revise the concepts regularly, because often it is seen that you will forget. The moment you will go from A1 to A2, A2 to B1, B1 to B2, you start forgetting things. So you got to revise it at the regular intervals. Then let me just show you on my screen the basic things that you got to learn while tackling the grammar topics level by level. So let's say you are somebody at the A1 level, or at the A2 level, or at the B1, B2 level. So these are the topics. If you do, I think it is more, I won't say it's sufficient, but yes, it's very close to more than enough. So you can pause the video here. You can note down if you want to, or you can just maybe take a you can just take a note of for everything, that this is something I've covered, this is something is left, this is something I got to do. So if you see, there is not much topic in the window of B1, B2, because here we kind of stop going to the grammar 12 topics, and we rather focus on implementing whatever we have learned up until now. Then comes the important verbs and the tenses to be done. So I have highlighted here that what exactly you cannot avoid, and you got to solidify these concepts. So first of all, of course, the présent, passé composé, imparfait, plus que parfait, past simple, past antérieur, futur simple, and futur antérieur. Now in these ones, the one which are in bold, présent, passé composé, imparfait, plus que parfait, and futur simple are super important. You should know these concepts very well, and you should know how to implement them. Then comes the conditional. Présent, passé, you may not use as much. And for the subjunctive, I would say subjunctive is something that you would use for présent only mostly. Maybe passé for the writing faitive, but not as much. So you got to literally solidify the ones which are in bold in this screen. So you can again pause the video, and you can go ahead and just note the ones which are important. A pro tip here. So what I do usually is in my institute, I go ahead and teach everything, but I also tell them, look, these are the ones which are important. So I literally focus on these ones a lot more than the others. So you can do the same to save your time. And please subscribe to my channel. Now, choosing of an exercise book. So as I have little bit touch base this before, I do use cahier. I do use cahier for the saison, apprenant le français aussi, or maybe sometimes the editor. But ideally, honestly, there is no such ideal grammar book, guys. So you can actually just understand which activities or content that is something which is related to you, that you find it very easy. You can go for that one. That's tip number one. Tip number two, that these grammar books, as I said before, is just literally a way out to help you with scoring B2 plus in TEF. But they are literally not the ones which can literally save you from everything, because it is more about pronunciation, vocabulary, expressing your natural thoughts. So you got to bind everything using these grammar books. Last but not the least, as soon as you finish the topics, just get into or dive into the pool of French-based, TEF-based, TCF-based exercises. For example, you can quickly get into the Prep My Future and start doing the exercises of reading, listening, speaking, and implementing those grammar which you have learned over the period of time. So this is super important here. And that's it. So I take a moment here to let you all know that we have recently brought up a great plan of 99 hours study with us, and we make you ready from beginner to TEF. If you would like to enroll, if you would like to know more about it, why don't you just go ahead and connect with me? I'll be very happy to help you all. Merci beaucoup, and I hope this video was helpful for you. Keep supporting, keep learning, keep enjoying, keep rocking. Merci beaucoup. Au revoir.